Alright, in this video I'm going to do a simple method to determine unknowns in an equation. And we're going to start with one equation and one unknown. But really, this is really the key of dealing with physics and you're dealing with systems of equations. When you have like 3 or 4 unknowns, you have to identify what you have and then identify what you're missing to determine if you need one equation, 2 equations, 3 equations. And so, a lot of times teachers will have you write out variables, and that's important. So when you have your givens, you write out your givens, and they'll have you make a little table, whatever. So I'm going to start with that, but then I'm going to show you how I want you to mark your equations when you do that. So a person starts from rest and runs with an acceleration of 1 meter per second squared for 5 seconds. What is the final speed? Well, let's take a look here. Could a person really run that fast? We'll see. So I have the kinematics variables here. So I have my acceleration first here, my v initial here, my v final here, my delta x here, and my time here. And so there's a person, right? And they're here, right? And they're running along and they're accelerating at 1 meter per second squared. Okay? All right. So acceleration we have here, okay? And with kinematics, I know I need 3 variables, right? So acceleration is 1, okay? Starts from rest, right? So I know my v initial is 0 here, right? So I'll go ahead and write that as 0 there. And I'm running for 5 seconds. So I do have 3 variables. So I can go ahead and start solving. So I'm going to say, what's the final speed? Well, what equations involve acceleration, v initial, and final speed? Well, we can take a look at this equation here. V final equals V initial plus AT. Now, when we're dealing with equations, what I want you to do when you're going through the equations, let's say you had equations, but you didn't even write it out like this. I want you to check off on the top what you know. Yes, I know time. Yes, I know acceleration. Yes, I know V initial. I'm looking for the one that I circle. Okay? Circle the one you want. That's your unknown. So right there, that's the green light. I know that I have one equation and one unknown. If I had 2 circles here, then I have to draw up another equation, right? If I had 3 circles here, I need 3 equations. Okay? So that just lets you know if this is going to be a difficult or an easy problem. In this case, it's going to be pretty easy, right? Because I have I know that I have these 3 variables here, so I can just go ahead and say, okay, well, v final is going to be 0 plus, okay, in this case, I have acceleration, which is 1 times 5, right? So we would say that after 5 seconds, we have a speed of 5 meters per second, okay? So that would give you a basic idea of how fast that person was running at that time. And we know that that's how we would solve this because we just had that one unknown, and in this case it was very cut and dry. We just plugged it in and solved. But these can get more complicated, okay? So for example, you could have a situation where you have the circle on this side, you have to solve for the variable, or you had 2 circles, so you have to keep drawing another equation. And so a lot of times when I see those different equations, I like to draw them in like a map, which I'll get into a little bit later.